We had welcomed the new year. The Shinsengumi spent days at the Fushimi Magistrate. Supposedly, the shogunate army, en route from Edo, were going to stop by Osaka for preparations before they arrived in Kyoto. As a response, the Satsuma Choshu, who had gathered forces in Kyoto, planned to intercept the shogunate army's path from Osaka. Fushimi was situated in between Osaka and Kyoto, meaning the fighting could come to us. As word of these plans spread, Satsuma Choshu forces occupying Fushimi began fortifying positions in anticipation. The Fushimi magistrate, receiving word of the enemy's movements, buzzed with tension. Being around this atmosphere caused me to wonder whether it was appropriate for me to be around everyone after all. I grew increasingly concerned that I was just going to be a burden on everyone else. It was difficult to shake my doubts. But if no one had said anything to me directly, then presumably I was okay to stay. I decided then what was most important was keeping to my duties and staying out of the war. Once I'd accepted this mindset, I set out to prepare meals for each of the men. Wow, look at that. Since all of the warriors were often preoccupied with their duties, gathering everyone to eat as a group became a luxury we could not afford. As soon as the men would finish their meals, they would often go right back to their posts. To make dining simpler, they'd ask me to stick with preparing dishes like rice balls. Luckily, the food that was brought to the magistrate were varied and in large numbers on this day, so I put a lot of effort behind planning the dishes. As I was preparing everything, I was worried that I may have bitten off more than I could chew. Haha, because food. Watching the warriors eat around me in silence only served to exacerbate my anxiety about the quality of the meal. Just as I was beginning to feel bad, Nagakora appeared from behind me.
Oh man, dinner looks so delicious. There's fish, miso soup, some of those pickles I like. So good.
Oh, please, have as much as you'd like. I've even made enough for seconds.
Oh yeah, I will. I'm about to dig in.
Nagakora glowed, laughing as he piled the food onto his plate. The way he was acting made me think he looked no different from his usual self. It made me smile.
What's the matter, Chizuru? Did I get some on my face or something?
Oh, no. It's just that you're stuffing the food into your mouth so quickly that it made me happy.
Stuffing food into my mouth? Oh, it's so good though, so I can't help it.
Thank you. I just can't stop thinking about how stressed everyone is as they eat. I looked over at the table, most of the plates left untouched, and became self-conscious.
Well, personally, I believe that stress eating is the best time to eat because it gives you energy. I mean, whether or not you eat, once war starts you're gonna have to get all the help you can. Can I have seconds, please?
I took Nagakora's rice bowl and scooped a second bowl's worth of rice for him. Here you go. What a good boy. No sooner than when the bowl was handed to him did he begin scarfing the rice down. Nagakora always seemed to be smiling, but I know he also felt the pressure of the incoming war. I mean, his best friend, Heisuke, became a fury. Chief Kondo was in critical condition, and Okita's sickness only looked to be getting worse, which sent the two of them to Osaka for treatment. It got so bad that they almost made him take the water of life as a last-ditch effort. Soji, are you gonna die on me when we're not on your route? Nagakora's stress had been piling, but he showed no sign of faltering. In fact, it seemed like he was even more chipper than usual, doing his best to brighten the mood. It just shows how strong he really is. Because I knew that Nagakora had already been dealing with so much, I didn't want to burden him with my own feelings, but there was something I've been meaning to ask him. Music stops. Nagakora, mind if I ask you something?
What is it? Ask me anything you want, as long as it's something I can answer.
I paused for a minute to gather my thoughts, then I spoke up. Do you think it's okay for me to continue living here? Nagakora stopped eating, and his eyes thinned as he tried to read into my intentions.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, I was worried that everyone was growing tired of having me around and that I'd just be a burden. Puts bowl down. Nagakura quietly placed his rice bowl on the table. It seemed like this question was something he'd already asked himself. Both he and I sat for a moment in awkward but not totally uncomfortable silence. Nagakura seemed conflicted about whether he should answer honestly or not, but he looked determined and answered.
I'm not really one to sugarcoat things, so I'm just gonna be straight up with you.
Right.
I honestly feel like you would be better if you had gone with them to Osaka Castle.
His answer was something I'd sort of expected to hear. It wasn't something I didn't consider. Me being here with absolutely nothing to offer the Shinsengumi, so maybe it was better if I just left them. But realizing this case also made me realize that I didn't really have anywhere else to go. What could I say? Is it because we might lose? Don't say that! Just say, okay, I understand. I was ashamed by how much of a burden I'd imposed on everyone. Besides, with everything going on, if the demons were to appear, I don't think the Shinsengumi could afford to help. So perhaps it's for the best that I depart from the Shinsengumi. Okay, I understand. Tears almost poured out and I looked away. As soon as I am done washing all of the kitchen, I'll prepare my things for Osaka. I gritted my teeth and tried to keep my composure. I was fighting back warm tears, and I placed my hands on the floor as I bowed to Nagakura. Thank you for all of the moments we shared together. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, hey, wait, it's not like we don't like having you around or something. I mean, hey.
It seemed at last that the cracks were beginning to show, and his kindness became a source of pain. No, it's fine. I know. I can't keep relying on Nagakura anymore. I didn't want him to see my face, which was puffy from the tears, so I stood and turned around. He stopped you.
Hey, I told you it's not like that.
Nagakura grabbed my wrist tightly. Nagakura?
Oh.
Even he was surprised by the forwardness of his actions, and he stepped back for a moment. Then, as if doubling down on his feelings, he held on to my hands, this time even tighter. Go, boy! Yeah! You care. So sweet.
Listen to me, Chizuru. I'm not trying to get you to leave. It's just that...
He seemed nervous, his voice quivering as he held me closer to his chest. Oh, we went from holding hands to you're, like, right against his chest? Where's my picture of this?
Think about it. The Satsuma are setting camps up nearby, and if this war happens, then this place will become a site for battle, you know? So, I just didn't want you to be afraid. You know what I mean, Chizuru?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. The casualties suffered in war were horrific.
Besides, Chizuru, we're the ones who kinda force you to stay with us, yeah? It's not like you have to serve or anything, but if we were responsible for hurting you, then I don't think I could live with myself. So, if you plan on leaving us at any point in the future, I think now would be the time.
After expressing how he felt, Nagakura slowly scratched his head, silently frustrated at himself.
Look, Chizuru, I just don't want my little sis to get hurt is all.
Oh, come on, we got the out of the friend zone achievement. Come on. Admit. Admit, darn you.
I don't want to see you cry, or hurt yourself, or be in any kind of pain. There's gotta be something better out there for you, and I want that for you too.
Nagakura. It didn't seem like he liked how he phrased things, and he chewed on his lower lip anxiously. Almost as if he weren't truly aware of how he really felt about the whole situation. Ahem.
Sorry. I've been so busy telling you what I want, I didn't even ask what you want. So, Chizuru, wanna tell me what you really think? Do you want to stay with us, or...
I looked at him straight in the eye as I slowly started to open up. You see, I know deep down that I can't do anything for you guys. If I continue to stay here, I will only be a burden on everyone. But even then... As I spoke, I noticed Nagakura warming me with his tender gaze. Perhaps my selfish desires were causing some trouble for him. But surprisingly, I'd realized what I really wanted all along was... I would like to continue to stay here, beside everyone.
Huh. Gotcha.
He seemed to sink deep into a sea of thoughts, and he closed his eyes slowly. The silence he created between us made me sit a little uneasy. I began to regret any of my concerns in the first place, and I felt so selfish for doing so.
Gotcha.
He repeated himself, but as he opened his eyes again, the word felt a lot more confident.
Well, alright then. If that's how you feel, then I need to kick my ass into gear.
Huh?
I mean, you look like you're on the verge of crying. How could I not try and give you whatever you wanted?
Nagakura flashed a smile as bright as the sun, and he took me by the hand.
Leave it to me, Chizuru. There's nothing for you to be worried about. If you want to stay here, I'll protect you. If we want to win the war, it won't be enough to use my strength, but... protecting just one girl isn't gonna kill me, right? So don't worry about a thing.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure it's okay for me to stay?
Don't be stupid. Once a man makes a promise, you let him keep it. Here, let's pinky swear. That way you can trust me, right?
Yay, can I see the full picture now? Nagakura offered me his pinky. In response, I timidly offered mine back to him. Let me see all of it. Then, Nagakura wrapped our fingers tightly, and his finger felt warm and twined with my own. Shake, shake.
I swear. Cross my heart, hope to die.
You guys are so cute! Aw, she's like, I will not cry. His fingers seemed to transfer the warmth of his smile throughout my entire body.
Everything will be fine, Chizuru.
Nagakura never broke his promises. After spending all of these years by his side, I knew that my trust wouldn't go unrewarded.
Alright, don't get all soft on me. Let's grub, and I want to see that smile of yours.
Okay. I think he would feel a lot better if I told him that it would all be okay. I nodded to his suggestions and I gave him a small smile. Yeah, look at his grin. He's like, yeah, that's the spirit. In response, Nagakura replied with a gigantic grin from ear to ear.
Yeah, that's the face I'm talking about.
Okay.
Alrighty. Cross my heart, hope to die.
He shook our interlocked fingers and he let mine go. The way he had made me feel seemed to wash away all of my worries. Thanks to him, my anxiety was melting away. So cute.
Alright. Now that we've settled all that, I'm gonna build some strength by eating thirds. More food, please.
What? You're going to eat more? You're on your third one.
Well, I can't fight without a meal. If you want a happy life, you gotta work hard, play hard, and eat hard.
Okay, then I'll eat even more too. You go, girl. I tried to match his energetic tone, and it actually made me feel better. I knew that the Shinsengumi had been facing so many problems recently. But even with all that was going on, Nagakura gave me a sense of peace. Until the day comes that he realizes he is better off living his life, I will continue to spend time with him, relying on him just a little bit longer. Aw, but girl, you are part of his life. If only you'd realize. January 3rd, 1868. The year-end was filled with tension, but we were able to welcome the new year without anything happening. As New Year's Day was coming to an end safely, January 3rd rolled in. A dispute arose between the Satsuma domain and a group of shogunate troops attempting to enter Kyoto. Violence broke out, and suddenly, war was upon us. The shogunate army in Kyoto numbered roughly 15,000 men, while the Satsuma Choshu alliance commanded only 5,000. The shogunate army was hoping to barge right into Kyoto with their massive soldier count, but the Satsuma and Choshu troops had blocked the pathway with no intention of letting them in. 3-1 odds. I was busying myself in the compound around the time the men began to return from their patrols.
Hey, we're back. Looks like Kyoto's winters are as rough as ever.
Oh, welcome back, guys.
I'm getting real tired of those Satsuma bastards. We ought to be sitting in a nice, warm room getting drunk, not out there stamping out fires. You know, I haven't even gotten any zoni this year.
He continued muttering angrily to himself as he pulled off his coat and hung it up.
Oh, Nagakura, you haven't stopped talking about zoni once all day. Well, can you think of anything better to do during New Year's than eat mochi and sleep? Or maybe... do you think Satsuma doesn't celebrate New Year's?
I don't think it was a matter of doesn't, but rather a matter of couldn't. However, the same went for us on the shogunate side as well. I wasn't sure what was to become of any of us. But for now, all I could wish was for the new year to be celebrated in peace. Nagakura, do you really think the war will happen?
Well, I don't think the Satsuma Choshu'd be dumb enough to start something. I mean, we have like 15,000 men, and they have around 5,000. Considering the difference in manpower, I mean, it's obvious who'd win. But even then, the Satsuma Choshu are no strangers to war, and they have a lot of advanced weapons. We can't be too complacent.
Just then, we heard the boom of a large explosion from outside the building. The sound!
That was gunfire, wasn't it?
The earlier good humor evaporated, and every face in the room turned toward the source of the sound, tense and serious.
So it's finally started, huh?
That gunshot was the beginning of what would later become known as the Battle of Toba Fushimi. We later learned that the Satsuma had opened fire on shogunate soldiers attempting to enter Kyoto, but at the time we heard it, we knew nothing.
Who do you think fired that shot? Shinpachi, you stay put. I'll first go report this to the commander. I guess I should gather up the other men then. I'll go call them.
Harada left to call the other warriors in the building. The magistrate was in a frenzy with activity, with people buzzing back and forth throughout. Ah! A deafening explosion tore through the air, and the building itself shook. It was no gunshot this time.
What the hell was that? It wasn't an earthquake, was it? No, couldn't have been. But that means...
Saito and Nagakura looked at one another, then ran off out the door of the building.
So what's going on? What the hell?
I could hear their voices outside. What was going on? Don't get shot by a cannon, guys, please. Ah! A cluster of shots rang out and I jumped.
Hey, are you alright?
What is going on out there?
There's a cannon in the Ryun temple. It has to be the Satsuma.
A cannon? No! Ah! The wall shook again as the cannon's thunderous rapport tore through the air.
Damn it! If this keeps up, we're done for!
Harada had returned from the outside, and he bit his lip in clear frustration.
Can't we just go over there and take their cannon, Shinpachi? Maybe, but it'll be tough. They've got small arms, too. A lot of them.
Ah! Isn't there some way we can make them stop shooting at us? I mean, couldn't we shoot back at them with a cannon or something? It was a foolish idea, and I knew it, but I felt so useless just standing around and screaming. I had to do something.
That'd be a tough call.
Why?
We have cannons too, but we don't have enough men who can use it.
Oh no. Then there was nothing we could do? We just had to sit here and let them attack us?
But we're not just gonna stand here and take it either.
Just then. There's the commander.
Building's taken a lot of punishment. They keep this bombardment up and it's all coming down.
Hijikata appeared, short of breath and wearing his headguard and Shinsengumi uniform. Hijikata!
Kondo put me in charge when he left, and I think he wanted us to still be around when he came back. We're going on the counterattack.
His words sent the magistrate's office into a frenzy.
Finally! It's about goddamn time. I've been getting real tired of just sitting around while they shoot at us. Hard to feel like a man that way. Alright, what's the plan? We gonna shoot him with our cannon? No point shooting from here. We're gonna have to take it up to the front line. We get lucky, maybe we can take their cannon while we're at it. That's more like it. Let's do this. Those Satsuma punks better watch out.
They all seem more than ready to fight, but...
Gen, you'll stay here. I'll be taking the rest of our men and going after their headquarters. No problem, Toshi. You just leave it to me.
He nodded and trotted off toward the entrance.
Our best intelligence puts the enemy headquarters at Gokunomiya Shrine. Unfortunately, between us and them is a big hill, and they've got a bunch of guns dug in on the top of it. They'll pick us off as we climb up. There's only one way we're breaking through.
Hijikata's voice trailed off, but all the men around to understand what that silence implied. If they were to win, they would have to thrust their forces into the heart of the enemy encampment, and that would mean running straight into a line of gunfire. The men who left to go on the attack would be facing a good deal more danger than those left at the magistrate's office. There was a moment of silence before Nagakora fixed Hijikata with a confident look and spoke.
Sure thing, Commander. I can take care of that. Are you sure, Shinpachi? Well, someone's gotta do it, right? Might as well be me. It's better than sitting around here and getting pounded, at least.
He gave Hijikata a grin, then turned to his men in the 2nd Division.
Sorry, guys. But it looks like your captain just volunteered to get us all shot to hell. But hey, at least we'll go off to the next life together. What are you apologizing for, Captain Nagakura? I'm a samurai. I'm always prepared to give my life for victory. Alright, the 2nd Division will be leading our main thrust against their encampment. I want you to attack Gokunomiya Shrine. No sweat, you just leave that to us. It'll take more than a couple Satsuma bullets to kill Shinpachi Nagakura. Well, when you go in, the 10th Division will be there to support you, so don't worry about your flank, alright? We're off then.
With grins and more playful banter, Nagakora, Shimada, and Harada sauntered outside and out of sight. We didn't even say goodbye.
Saito, Yamazaki, come with me. We're heading for Ryun Temple. We're screwed unless we can silence that cannon. Understood. Then I'll go check the other side.
Hijikata, Saito, and Yamazaki also went outside. They all have very dangerous roles which could cost them their lives. But not a single soul showed any sign of fear. I'd always wondered, how could they go in with such bravery? This war wasn't something they'd experienced before, where they fought with swords. This time, guns and cannons have entered the fray. I couldn't shake my bad feelings about it. Please, everyone come back safely. I felt frustrated not being able to do anything, and all I could do was keep praying for their safety. Well, it's something. Yes. Then at last, as twilight began to fall on Kyoto, they returned. You're back!
Hey, I'm back.
Nagakora was dirty and despondent now, a stark contrast to the excitement and vigor on display when he'd marched out. His uniform was stained with dirt, dust, blood, and sweat from the battlefield. What happened? Did anyone get hurt?
No, we're alright. I mean, most of this is other people's blood, but I lost many of my men out there. Thinking about them now makes me mad.
Oh no. I didn't know what to say. Nagakora noticed I was at a loss of words and chimed in.
Don't worry. They were ready for this. It just doesn't really seem fair, though. There's no way we can charge in. What the hell? We managed to survive, but I don't know if we'll be so lucky the next time we see him. Nagakora.
Hearing Nagakora's frustration, eventually everyone fell silent. It was obvious from the start that this war was far different than the likes of Ikeda or the Hamaguri Rebellion. To think that the once invincible Shinsengumi could be so easily defeated. Outside, the bombardment continued unabated.
Hey, sorry for venting. We'll be fine. The retaliation just began. I'm sure that the darkness will help us, since the enemy can't really use a gun or cannon at night. That's when we'll strike. When night falls, our time will come. Alright, guess it's time to head out soon. If I get hurt, be sure to treat me, yeah?
In response, I said, "You'll come back, right? Or do you have to go?" I feel like "you'll come back, right" is showing, like, we don't have confidence that he can survive. Whereas if it's like, "Do you have to go?" It's like, we don't want you to get hurt, more so. I'm gonna go with that. You know how dangerous it is out there. Do you have to go?
Well, duh, I'm a warrior. We train practically every day to prepare for days like today. And when they need me, I can't turn my back. A man is only as good as his word. Besides, I'm a captain. I gotta step it up or my men won't follow me, right? Sorry, Chizuru.
Oh, no, I'm the one who should be sorry. I didn't know how strongly you felt about it. Alright. We just care about you. Yeah.
Hey, you said that though because you were worried, right? Thanks. It makes me happy.
That's right. You got my intent.
Anyways, I'll be on my way.
Nagakora smiled and returned to the battlefield. Be careful, Boo. Shortly after Nagakora had left, the outside became pitch black. Just as he'd predicted, the guns and cannons had ceased for a short while in the night, but after a few moments they returned. I wonder if, like he said, they'd have trouble hitting people in the dark. Nagakora said they wouldn't, but please, come home safe. Luckily, I had an immediate distraction in the form of treating the injured. It was midnight. Nagakora's troops, who served as the retaliatory forces, had returned. Okay.
Man, this blows. I lost so many good men out there.
Welcome back, Nagakora. Are you injured at all?
Nah, I'm fine. No injuries here.
So, does this mean we were able to make some headway this time?
Oh, not really. The enemies aren't as dumb as I thought, so I guess they prepared for a night attack. The place was all lit up, and I got cornered, so Shimada had to come and rescue me. No, I didn't do much. All I did was pull you up from the wall, Captain.
Thank you, Shimada.
Anyways, I made it out this time, but if they are covered on all their bases, then I don't know what else to do.
Nagakora vented his frustrations towards me, and it was clear he had no other outlets to channel how stuck he had felt. Eventually, Nagakora's words came to fruition. Oh? On the following day, January 4th, the dawn was met with the return of the enemy's rain of cannon fire. The Shinsengumi had hoped to launch a counterattack, but the power and range of the cannons made close combat almost impossible. Not only the cannons, but the new guns too, at the enemy's disposal, had range and accuracy beyond what our men could deal with. As each wave of men was met with cannon fire, our side suffered more and more casualties. I could barely keep up with the amount of men that were pouring into the infirmary. Frustration seemed to pervade amongst the many warriors from their inability to advance towards the enemy fort. Nagakora used light-hearted talk to motivate the men who slumped as they walked.
Hey man, why the long face? The enemy's base is just right there. We're gonna blast through them this time, so everyone follow me.
His attempts to cheer the men roused their spirits a bit, and he charged to the front of the line. When afternoon had passed, one of the enemy cannons was pointed at our headquarters, with one of the cannonballs smashing right into it. Well. Cannons pounded the Fushimi Magistrate's office, and the ground shook with each impact.
Hijikata, we can't take any more of this. That cannon up on the hill is tearing us apart. If we try and go up there, their guns will mow us down before we even get close. Their rifles have impressive range, and the gunners are skilled. 1 out of every 2 shots finds its mark, despite the distance. Where's Shinpachi? I can't find him. He took 15 men from the 2nd Division to attack the enemy line. Harada's face. Attack the enemy line? Is he insane? He's gonna die out there!
I could see muscles working in Hijikata's jaw, but he said nothing. His face was pale, although whether from fear or tension I couldn't tell. Outside, the roar of the cannons continued unabated. Just when it seemed certain that Nagakura must have perished, he somehow lived.
Hey guys, I'm back!
Shinpachi! Cries of surprise filled the room.
You're alive? What, do I look like I'm a ghost? Go ahead and touch me if you don't believe it.
He grinned as he wiped a thick smear of blood and dirt from his face. This guy's unkillable.
Anyway, it's impossible to get to the enemy line. Some Aizu guys went on ahead of us, but I heard they got pushed back too. Commander, there is nothing else we can do. Please, order the retreat.
His brow furrowed and he scowled furiously. Poor Toshi. Oh.
Whoa! What's this? Where's the smoke coming from? The cannon must have set the building on fire. We need to get out of here or we're dead. Hijikata, we have to retreat!
Even Nagakura's pleas seemed to fall on deaf ears.
Toshi.
Until this moment, the Shinsengumi had never known defeat in battle, but they were helpless against the firearms of the Satsuma and Choshu. The Shinsengumi was Hijikata's life. Defeat was hard to accept. After what seemed like an eternity, he let out a long, ragged sigh. I guess this is the end. Nobody can win a war with swords and spears anymore. His knuckles turned white. There were several more minutes of tense, breathless silence before he finally looked up, his eyes burning with fury. We're pulling back, but we haven't lost. They'll pay for this. Fury wasn't the only thing in those eyes. Behind them I could see a bitter, desperate agony. Under Hijikata's orders, it was decided for us to head to Osaka Castle, where our allies from Kyoto Castle and the Shogunate were waiting for us. We were to hold the castle as a fortress and eventually move to counter the Satsuma Choshu.
Oh, so that's the plan, huh? Damn it.
Nagakura didn't seem to be thrilled with Hijikata's decision. I told him, well, that's unfortunate, really. Come on, it's not over yet. Well, it doesn't mean this is over just yet. We've only just begun. I desperately tried to console Nagakura, who seemed to have lost himself out of anger. I mean, we're going to hold the castle up this time, right? If we can prevent the enemy's artillery from reaching us, we could win. Right? After hearing my comment, a light returned to Nagakura's eyes.
Yeah, that's right. If it's Osaka Castle, it'll hold, no matter what the Satsuma or the Choshus throw at us.
That's my boy.
You're right. We've only just begun. Thanks, Chizuru.
You're welcome. He nodded firmly. And so the process of retreating from the Fushimi magistrate had begun. A diversion team comprised of a few able-bodied soldiers was ordered to draw out enemy forces as the wounded moved to the Yodo and Osaka castles. I had joined Inoue in guiding our injured men to the Yodo castle, while Nagakura and Harada were tasked with leading the diversion team. Well, we'll head out first. Please stay safe, everyone.
Right. We'll be right behind you. Gen, take care of her. Of course. I promise to take her to the castle. Then we shall take our leave. See you at the castle. This isn't goodbye. We'll see each other soon, okay?
Okay. Thus, Inoue and I set forth for Yodo Castle with the injured soldiers in tow.